Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with the Marvel Legends Avengers Infinite Series Hellcat. As we look on the packaging back, we see Hellcat pictured alongside Spider-Woman, with Hasbro dubbing the pair Fierce Fighters. Hellcat oddly crouching here like she is trying to squeeze one out. Of course, this is from the Thanos Build-A-Figure wave, and there is the Mad Titan himself, along with the other figures forming this wave. Here is Hellcat out of packaging. Many, including myself, have of late sung the praises of Hasbro for its Lady Legends, Black Cat, Miss Marvel, Storm, Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel, all action figures that have done the comic characters proud, or at least not shamed them, including Hellcat's fellow fierce fighter Spider-Woman, when in a previous video I compared her to her earlier Toy Biz Frankenhooker incarnation. I asked if this trend of improvement would continue with Hellcat, and sadly it doesn't. Her biggest flaw is her lower legs. Recently with some figures, Hasbro has been molding the lower arms and legs from a different colour plastic to the upper arms and legs. For instance, with Hellcat, her lower legs are moulded in the dark blue plastic of the boots, then painted yellow on the section above the boot and below the knee to match the yellow plastic of the rest of the figure. And when I say match, I mean not very well at all. Experience as a customizer has taught me yellow paint has very poor coverage, and we see that here. And while I said Hellcat is not the first figure they've done this with, yet none have looked as bad and sloppy as this. And unfortunately, it's only made to look worse in contrast to the rest of the yellow plastic, which has some nice shading. It's looking good. I really wish I could also say that for the deco of her hair, but it's non-existent. Her hair is rendered in an almost neon orange plastic. Without deco, it looks very flat, and some shading or dry brushing would have helped it look a lot more naturalistic, but as it is, it has a pre-Legends 90s action figure plasticiness to it. And yes, I get that this is made of plastic, but for me, Legends at their best are able to transcend the plastic they're made of. This one doesn't. Now, I can confess I'm not the most read when it comes to Hellcat, having only ever read a few issues with her in. Yet, with a name like Hellcat, I assume a certain spirit about the character. Google Hellcat and the pictures that result mostly show her teeth gritted, truly embodying that title fierce fighter that Hasbro have labelled her as. If hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, then looking at this face sculpt, it seems Hellcat has no fury. Period. She's just pleasantly smiling to herself, making the expression less Hellcat and more Housecat. Pretty sure she inherits her hands from the Marvel Legends Black Cat of last year. With Black Cat, one of her hands was molded to hold her character-specific grappling hook from the comics. Now, I don't know if in reusing the hands, Hasbro felt obliged to give Hellcat a weapon also, so she has this staff which fits into her right hand. It breaks apart into two batons, itself formally appearing as Daredevil's accessory, which would be handy if only she was able to actually hold them in her hands. Now, unless anyone can correct me, the staff and the batons are not weapons I can find any record of Hellcat ever using. She's more a hand-to-hand combatant, having retractable metal claws on her gloves, and as such it would have been better for her to have hands with the fingers splayed to reflect that. Now, looking at articulation, and her hair does inhibit the rotation of the head. Yeah, she is able to look down a decent amount, but not up, again owing to the hair. At the shoulder, her arms rotate and they move up this far. For the elbow, there is a rotation and a hinge which essentially brings her lower arm at a right angle to the upper arms. Rotation at the wrist, then these are also hinged on the top and bottom as opposed to the conventional inside and outside. No rotation at the waist, but rotation comes in the form of her diaphragm joint, which also moves this far forward and this far back. At the hips, her legs move out to the side this much. They move pretty far forward, but not really to the back. She has upper leg rotation, double jointed knees, then the ankles are hinged, moving forward and back. Then finally, she has that awesome ankle rocker pivot that I love. So Toy Biz's Lady Legends are not looked back upon fondly. Yet when it comes to women, Hasbro have committed a fair few horrors of their own. Now, I'm not saying this Hellcat is as bad as, say, Hasbro's first Emma Frost, but she does buck the trend of Hasbro's Lady Legends of late. Let's just hope she is a bump on the road and not a sign of sliding back. The good news is Hellcat comes packed with the same bath parts as the much superior Spider-Woman, and I don't mean superior superior as in Doc Ock's mind in Jessica Drew's body. I mean superior as in just plain better. Much better. So even if you want to build Thanos, you're not obliged to pick up Hellcat 2. To see Hasbro's new Spider-Woman in a comparison with the earlier Toy Biz version, click the video on the left. Alternatively, to see how the various Marvel Legends versions of Hawkeye measure up, click the video on the right. As ever, I sure would appreciate it if you could give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.